December in the Winemah National Forest is a different world. It's a place of raw, untamed power. The air grows thin and bites at your lungs with an icy grip. Ancient ponderosa pines, snow heavy on their branches. They stand like silent sentinels. Branches reach like skeletal fingers against a bruised gray sky. The silence here is a living thing, a heavy blanket that smothers sound, and the soft crunch of snow underfoot. When you stand among these colossal trees, you feel small, peaceful one moment, deeply menacing the next, where the line between natural and supernatural feels thin. The cold is more than temperature, it's a presence. It seeps into your bones. The forest holds dark, ancient secrets. People can and do vanish without a trace. This landscape became the final chapter in Derrick Engebretson's story. On December 5th, 1998, Derrick Engebretson was just 8 years old. He was a boy full of life, bright smile, loved the outdoors. He was a Cub Scout, adventurous in his Kiloquin backyard, a typical, energetic second grader. He trusted easily. He was close to his family. His father, Derrick Sr., his grandfather, they were his world. Early December, the Engebretson family, Derrick, his father, his grandfather, drove up a remote logging road into Winemah National Forest. Their mission, find the perfect Christmas tree, an annual ritual, a day of bonding. The air was cold, but their spirits were high, surrounded by the quiet majesty of the Oregon wilderness. But in places like this, perfection can shatter in an instant. They had no reason to believe this day would be different. Derrick Sr. parked near Pelican Butte. The snow was deep, maybe a foot or more. For young Derrick, it was a winter wonderland. He was bundled up, ready to find that one special tree. The scene was idyllic, a perfect snapshot of family life, leaving behind only questions and a chilling void. They were locals. They understood the rules of the wilderness. Derrick Sr. gave his son a simple instruction: stay close to the truck. He and the grandfather walked a short distance, no more than 100 feet, to scout for a good tree. These would be the last words he would ever say to his son. Derrick, obedient, agreed, and remained near the warmth and safety of the vehicle. The timeline is critical. The father and grandfather were gone for no more than 10 minutes. 10 minutes. When they walked back toward the truck, the silence that greeted them was unnatural. The spot where Derrick had been standing was now empty. There was no sign of him, just the truck, the snow, the imposing silent trees watching over the scene. Panic set in immediately. Derrick Sr. and his father began calling, "Derrick! Derrick!" Their voices echoed through the woods, but the only answer was the chilling whisper of the wind. They frantically circled the truck, eyes scanning the pristine snow for any sign, any track, any clue as to where the boy could have gone. It was as if he had been plucked from the earth, lifted straight up into the gray sky without leaving so much as a single scuff mark. The absence of evidence was, in itself, the most terrifying evidence of all. How does a child disappear so completely, so silently, in such a short amount of time? The immediate moments after Derrick's disappearance were a blur of frantic searching and rising terror. Derrick Sr. and the grandfather scoured the area around the truck, their shouts growing more desperate. The response was massive and immediate. Law enforcement, SAR teams, volunteers, they grid-searched the rugged terrain for weeks. They faced brutal conditions, deep snow, freezing temperatures, and the overwhelming scale of Winemah National Forest. Every broken branch was examined. Every unusual depression in the snow was scrutinized. The hope that fueled the initial days slowly began to fade, replaced by grim determination. Despite hundreds of searchers and thousands of man-hours, the forest gave them nothing. Search dogs were brought in. Their powerful noses should have cut through the confusion. But the dogs behaved erratically, picking up a scent, running briefly, then stopping as if the trail simply ended. Not a single piece of physical evidence belonging to Derrick was ever found. No boot, no glove, no scrap of clothing. In most wilderness cases, something is found. Here, nothing. It was as if the forest erased him. For the family, the nightmare continued. For investigators, it became a void, an impossible cold trail. Amidst the lack of evidence, a few bizarre and deeply unsettling clues emerged. There, in a small clearing, was a perfectly formed snow angel, untouched with no tracks leading to or from it. To make a snow angel, you must lie down and get up, leaving tracks. This clearing had none. Searchers who found it were baffled, as if someone had been placed there and then lifted away. Not far from the snow angel, deliberate axe or hatchet marks were found about 5 to 6 feet off the ground. Too high for a small boy. They seemed like trail markers, but they led nowhere, adding a sinister human element. The trackless snow angel and the high axe marks paint a conflicting and terrifying picture, one that does not fit simple explanations. Instead, they suggest something more complex, intelligent, potentially malevolent. Then, a key witness came forward, a cross-country skier in the Pelican Butte area who reported seeing a strange, agitated man. The man behaved erratically, thinly dressed, gesturing wildly, speaking nonsensically. The skier felt immediate danger and left. The skier also reported a dark 4x4 parked on a nearby ridge. The driver could not be seen. The vehicle was never conclusively identified. Tire tracks were inconclusive, like a ghost vehicle that vanished into the snow. Abduction by an individual is a grounded theory, but it's filled with holes. How could someone abduct a child within earshot of his father and grandfather so silently? It would require incredible stealth and luck, or something else entirely. The stranger and the marked trees are significant, but they don't answer the deeper mystery. Why no tracks? Why no struggle? They are fragments of a story that make no logical sense. When a case is this devoid of evidence, theories begin to swirl like the snow in a blizzard. Each one attempts to impose order on the chaos, to explain the unexplainable. The simplest theory, he wandered off and succumbed to hypothermia. The wilderness is unforgiving, but that fails to account for the complete lack of evidence. No body, no clothing, no tracks. Another theory, a predator. The forest is home to mountain lions and bears. Experienced trackers found no signs to support this. No animal tracks near the truck. No drag marks, no blood. Foul play. Abduction by a human remains compelling, especially given the stranger sighting and vehicle on the ridge. But it leaves unanswered how someone could perform such a silent, trackless act. When logic falters, some suggest something stranger, unexplained lights, local legends of weird creatures, thin spots in the veil of the world. Local folklore and anecdote fill the void left by facts. Investigators keep the file open. Photos, notes, timelines, an accumulation of unanswered questions. The convergence of strange clues, the trackless snow angel, the high axe marks, points beyond a simple missing person case. For the family, the nightmare never ended. They live in a suspended state of unknowing, mourning someone the world cannot locate. Their pain became part of the forest's dark legacy, an emotional energy among the snow-laden pines. For those living in the shadow of Pelican Butte, the story is a chilling local legend, a cautionary tale whispered to children. The wilderness is beautiful, but also powerful and mysterious. It can take things, and sometimes it doesn't give them back. We believe some places are thin spots, portals where the veil between worlds is fragile. The spot where Derrick was last seen feels like one of those places. Derrick Engebretson is still missing. His case remains open, a cold file filled with strange clues and haunting questions. How does a child vanish without a sound and without a trace in just 10 minutes? Perhaps the truth may never be known. The mystery endures, a dark and silent monument to a little boy who walked into the forest and was never seen again.